Hello, today we're going to look at week 7, question number 8. I've already had the problem set up in an Excel book because that's just the way that's easiest for me to proceed and what I like to do when I'm first tackling this type of problem. So the question in this case that we're doing reads, a magazine looked at the success of CEOs with MBAs. Of the 1,078 CEOs that responded, 30% said that they earned an MBA. Complete parts A through C. And let me go ahead and fix this typo. Question A says, estimate the percentage of all CEOs who have earned MBAs. Use a 99% confidence interval. To begin, you write down the given information and determine the sample proportion. You're given 1,078 and you're told 30%. So that gives you N and that gives you P. Then you check your assumptions and conditions. Does this meet the independence assumption? And then you would say yes, because whether one CEO has an MBA does not depend on whether another CEO in the sample has an MBA. Does it meet the randomization condition? And you say yes, because this is a random sample of CEOs. And then the 10% condition. In the 10% condition, you must say that whether or not the sample represents less than 10% of all CEOs. And in that case, you really can't tell because you don't know how many CEOs there are in total. Then you have a success failure condition. The number of successes and the number of failures should equal at least 10. And in this case, I think you can kind of tell that it does equal at least 10 for both. In this case, a success would be that the CEO has an MBA, and a failure would be that the CEO does not have an MBA. So then you construct the confidence interval. And in this, I would solve for alpha, and that's 1 minus 0.95, which gives you 0.05. And then you would do the calculations to get the confidence interval. This is one of those cases where I would let Excel or StatLab or StatCrunch, do the heavy lifting. I have PHStat installed, so I'm going to use that. So I go up here to the top and I go to Add-ins tab. And I go to PHStat. And I go to confidence intervals. And I have the estimate for the proportion. So you have your sample size. And once again, you have your sample size was given to you at the top. And that was 1,078. And then you have your number of successes, which would be so then you need your number of successes, which in this case would be 0.30 times 1,078. That is 323. And you're looking for the 95% confidence interval. And then you just press OK. And you can see here, you're given your interval lower limit and your interval upper limit. And that's how you would solve for the confidence interval. So given these calculations, you can say that you're 95% confident that between 27.3% and 32.7% of CEOs have earned their MBAs. So part B of the question reads, some believe that fewer contemporary CEOs are earning MBAs. Suppose we wish to conduct a hypothesis test to see if the fraction has fallen below the 34% mark. What does the confidence interval indicate? Once again, the confidence interval indicates that you can be 95% confident that between 27.3% and 32.7% of CEOs have earned MBAs, and 34% falls out of the side of that confidence interval. And then C is what is the level of significance of this test, and then you explain it. In this case, the levels, it's the 0.05 alpha that you solved for back on sheet 1, divided by 2, which gives you 0.025. And that's because this is an upper tail test, and so you only need half. Please let us know if you have any questions about this or any other problems. Thanks for listening.